obviously you guys would know from all my videos that I use a foil board, that we have our own Blush Girl foil board which you can buy from our shop. But even if you can't get your hands on ours, I still really want you to know how to use this tool, because it is the best thing that ever happened to me in my career, and it's just been such a game changer. And we're also, at the end, we're going to share some reviews from some of my team members who have adapted and started using the foil board as well. The purpose of today's video is just to show you in detail how I use it, how I stack it, how I place it on my body. You know, you might have seen it in my video, or you might have seen someone else use it, think that you'd love to try it and then pick it up once and put it down, which is exactly what I did when I first started. I hated it passionately, but thank God I kept going with it. So there are a few little tricks that I can show you that will just help you adapt, and I would just love you to try them before you give up on it. So I'm just going to do it on my mannequin head today, which you know I hate, but I thought this would probably be the best way to show you. So first of all, I am going to make another video where I have an assistant, but today it's just me on my own, which is one of the major benefits, I think, of having a board, because what I do, and I think this is different because I've never seen anyone do this before, and a lot of people comment that they've never stacked the board. And by the way, I need to give all the credit to my first boss, Trisha. Her salon's called Hair Artistique, and Trisha is the one who showed me this tool and who taught me how to stack the board. So anyway, I haven't seen other people stacking it like I do and like I was taught to, and I think that is the biggest game changer, because you're not picking up a single foil each time. Like, that is way too time consuming. So I will stack the board with about 6 foils, or maybe 6 to 8 foils. If you have too much more than that, it will actually get a little bit too thick, so you can't get in as close to the roots as you might like. But it depends on what you're doing. If you're maybe doing a balayage, that would be okay. But I usually do around 6 to 8 foils, and then when I run out of foils, I'll stop and then I'll restack it. But you can see how by stacking it, instead of having to stop each time, I'm just having to put the board down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, and it's just such a quick process. So I'll get started. I'm just going to section up this girl. Actually, I should probably show you how to stack the board. So I'm just going to get my foils, using Foil Me foil, by the way. So I've just got a little pile like that, and I'm just going to get it on my board, and I just kind of have about that much up, and I will just fold it over like that. So yes, the the board isn't designed to meet the exact size of the foil. There's a reason for that, and that is because if the board is too much wider than this, then you get drag on the sides. So it's purposely made more narrow, so that you're not getting too big sections and getting drag on each side. So yeah, that's about the size. So that's how I do it. I have that on my right side here, and you can see how simple that's going to be. So I'm just going to section up. So just foiling her today with some conditioner, just for showing. I'll get started. So one of the biggest things is about learning how to balance it on your body. So you really have to find the perfect position to balance it between the head and your body. And as you're moving up the head with the foils, you need to move up your body with the board. So one of the things that can feel really uncomfortable, a little bit awkward, is when you kind of get to your chest area, and sometimes you really need to push in around there, but you will become comfortable with it. Sometimes if I don't feel like I can push right there, then I will actually tilt it up and come right up on my chest like that. So, and when you're balancing it on your client's head, you just need to find the perfect pressure, because if you push too hard, it's going to slip down or it's going to slip up. So you just have to be able to put it on their head, and this is going to be so hard because of this money, but you need to be able to just balance it like that. So you're not pushing, you're just balancing. Cool. Just going to start weaving now. So because I'm down low at the moment, it's just going to be more on my stomach, and can you see? It's just going to balance there, and I'm not pushing on her head. So if you push, she's going to fall over. She's a mannequin. Just moving up the head, can you see? Just balancing it there. That gives me 2 free hands to be able to pull the hair really nice and tight, and then I'll get my hand, grab around, group it, and then actually I will just kind of tilt down, and that just gives me even a little bit more, what would you call it? Tension. It gives me more tension. Oh my god. Oh, my pocket's up. Whoops. Anyway, so did you see that? I'm gonna do that again. So I'll put my board in, balance it, get really good tension on my hair, and then I will just slightly tip down just for a little bit more tension. That is such a good tip actually. I forget that one. And then paint on my color, and what I will do is then I'm balancing again to then fold. So I have 2 free hands, and what I do is 1 fold, and then I will just slightly overfold it. So then I have room for a little bit of drag when I just pull down my foil, and when I just tighten my foil underneath, and I don't fold them, as you know. So I don't know if it's something about the board or if it's just me, but my foils are always really tight, and I never feel the need to fold them. But I do always just tighten underneath. So yeah, what other questions are there? I'll just keep going so you can see. Okay, so now I've run out of foils on my board, so this is the time where I will stop, and I will get a new pile of foil and restack. Okay, here we go. So now I'm working up a little bit higher on the head, so it's going to go a little bit higher on my body. Really good tip is always make sure that you move your client, you move their head, you ask them to look down or whatever you need to do, sit up, sit back. It's so bad when you're using the board if you don't have your client in the right position. So you really have to be disciplined and not afraid to ask them to sit where you need them to sit, because even if you're not using a board, to be honest, but particularly with the board, you will get such a bad lower back if you're trying to hold your body up in an awkward position, and you also just will not be able to hold it there. It will just be so uncomfortable and it keeps slipping, and like I said, really bad for your lower back. So you need to make sure you move them. And the most comfortable position for me when I'm going through the part is always to just slightly, actually similar to where my mani head is, just slightly turn my client to the side, and I won't turn them all the way, but I will just turn them sort of just side on, and then I will position myself just on the side of them. And generally I'll have my legs sort of either side of their knees, and I find that's a really good way for me to be able to get in really close. If you have your client turned around all the way to you and their knees are facing straight into your knees, then you have to lean over really far. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I just kind of got on a roll. So don't do that. Always just have their knees slightly facing, tilted away from yours, so you can stand over them and really nice and close. So anyway, I'll get started. Obviously we've got no knees here. Oh my God, I should totally do a video about how you position your client. Do you guys want that? It's so important, and I see so many people getting it wrong. And also I know as a stylist as well that sometimes you're just so busy just like getting it done, and you don't want to stop, and you don't want to ask your client, you don't want to have them, you know, not in their most comfortable position, but it just makes it so much more enjoyable to do your job when you do take those steps. Which actually reminds me back to TAFE, when Vivian always used to tell me that she always used to talk to us about ergonomics, and I'd be like, whatever, but it's true. So yeah, I might make a video on that. Let me know if you're interested. So I've just got up a little bit higher now. So obviously this is right on my chest. That's totally fine for me. If that's not comfortable for you, then you can actually just have it a little bit tilted. But can you see how that means I have to push my full body forward a little bit? So you kind of want to avoid that if you can. But it depends on your height as well. So lots of things come into play. So anyway, I need to be about there for this one. So can you see how I'm kind of right now at my maximum? Like I can't go any higher than that, which just shows me that my client needs to tilt her head down. So, because if you continue on that sort of angle, you probably find that you start pushing like that and it will be slipping and it won't work. So I need to put her down. Lovely. So now what I want to show you is the way that I will use this for my tipping out or my balayage. So what I would usually do is I will have 2 boards on my trolley while I'm working, one for foils and one for just like a bit more freehand balayage painted on the board. You can also do this with foils underneath depending on what you want to do with your tip out. But generally I will do it straight on the board, and if I need a foil underneath I'll just kind of place that there after, so I'll show you how I do that. So yeah, I'm just going to grab my hair for my tip out. I get my spare board, just place it underneath like that, and then I will just hold it and just, oh yes, so here's a bit annoying. No, there we go. Like that. And then if I do want to foil underneath, I will then just place my foil underneath. Like that. If I have really long hair, then I will kind of like drag it down as I'm going. Like that. That's my little demo on 2 different ways that you can use the foil board. If you have any questions, put them below, and I would love you to keep watching and meet 2 of my amazing team members, Taylor and Lauren, and they're just going to give you a little review on how they made the transition to using a board.
Hello, I'm Taylor. I'm a senior hairdresser here at Lush Girl. This year marks my 8th year hairdressing, and yeah. Wasn't using a foil board, no,
Yeah.
So just traditional foiling with a comb. And then, yeah, when I came in here, that was when I picked up the foil board. I had seen it before in the past, but I hadn't actually used it myself. I found it very challenging at first, and I wanted to give up, but I didn't. I kept persisting with it, and I honestly can't imagine not using it anymore. I love it. The most difficult thing I found was trying to hold it and position it on my body, because you have to sort of like press yourself against it, and I just found it difficult trying to find a comfortable spot with my client and getting the right amount of pressure so that I wasn't dropping the board all the time. So yeah, I found that the most difficult, finding the right amount of pressure and just positioning myself. Just practice. It's just, yeah, persisting with practice, and I think one of the main things is moving the client's head to where you need them to be to get the right amount of pressure and stuff. So when you're at the back, just making sure that the client's head is down so you can actually get the foil board in there, and yeah. Everything. I rarely don't ever use it for anything. I use it for balayage, I use it for foils. I find that I get a much better even distribution of colour using the board. I find that without the board it is quite like streaky sometimes. You can't get the application smooth and even. So I use it for everything. Oh, it's definitely changed it phenomenally for the reasons that I just said. Like, it's a lot more even application, so therefore the colour's better. I think you can get in closer to the roots as well, and I don't ever get bleeding anymore, rarely ever. Whereas that was something that I would often get with using the comb. I think it's so much more time efficient because you don't have to fold the foil, so you're not messing around with that. Yeah. Yeah, everyone, I think that it's just such a good, simple change that you can make into your hairdressing, and it just improves your work so much more.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I've been hairdressing for 9 years. I'm a senior stylist at Blush Girl. I didn't pick up the board to start with because I thought I knew how to do foils, and I was confident in the way that I could do them. Yeah. So the way that I use the board, because I am quite short, I do struggle with it a little bit. I always will go through the back of the board. And then if I get to the top, sometimes I don't feel like I can reach because I am short. So I will go back to my normal foiling technique then. But then I'll go back to my board on the sides. What do I love about the Blush Girl foil board? I love that you get no drag, it's not sloppy. If clients move, like you still have that foil in your hand. It's perfect for like around these like fluffy bits. It's so good for when you're doing a low light in there because you actually have something to press the color into, so you're not like missing chunks and stuff like that. It's a great tool, and I'm so glad I did pick it up. So the way I think it's changed my work is that I'm just a lot more precise with it now, because you can't be sloppy with the board. You follow your line straight up, you get such precision, you get no drag. It's amazing. So again, I am really short. So for me, the first time I picked it up was about 2 years ago, and I told myself I was just gonna do the back 2 sections and see how I went, and I haven't put it back down since. So I would say if you are nervous about starting, start at the back, do it on a client that you're confident that you can do their hair and you know their hair and it's not hard hair, and then just work your way around and just feel what's comfortable for you. I love the foil board for balayaging and my low lights, and also tipping out too, because it's just an all-in-one. Yeah.